Hi, everyone. I am Colleen Brunetti with Ben River Books. I am a publishing consultant, and I am so excited to be here today with one of my favorite clients to talk about a new book that is coming out. It is called Merry Claus and the Holiday Dash, a Nochebuena and Christmas Story. And today we're going to talk with one of the co-authors to hear all about it. So, hola, Stephanie.
Hola, how are you, Colleen?
I'm doing so well, and I am so excited to talk to you about this new book. Can
Mhm.
you tell us a little bit more about the book that's featuring Mary, who people may have actually just known as Mrs. Claus in the background, and the rest of her very special North Pole crew?
Yes, oh my goodness. I have been working on this project. Actually, no, we have been working on this project for so long. I'm just excited to share with everyone how Mary gets to celebrate both Noche Buena and Christmas. And, she runs into some trouble, but she has her team to help her. So it's going to be great.
Usually think of Mary Claus as celebrating Noche Buena. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so in our story, Mary Claus is a Latina that, celebrates Noche Buena. So while she also helps prepare for Christmas, she's also celebrating, her traditions. So kind of what she does is she gets to prepare her yummy foods. She plays a lot of games. Noche Buena is a very important part of the Latin culture, just like in any other culture that they celebrate Christmas. It's kind of a time that you come together with your family and and friends and kind of reflect on all of the good times of the year and just enjoy yummy food and laughs, and it's a great time.
That sounds like so much fun. So it's truly a multicultural story where we're merging Christmas and Noche Buena into one family of sorts,
Yes.
which sounds really great. What inspired you to create these characters with your co-author?
Well, growing up as a child, I honestly never got to read about any Noche Buena celebrations, and I thought it was really interesting that my family celebrated the night before Christmas. And I remember going to school and I would tell my friends, "Hey, I'm so excited for Noche Buena." And sometimes they would tell me, "What is that? Do you mean Christmas Eve or Christmas?" And I'm like, oh no, my family, what we do is we celebrate the night before Christmas. We stay up all night. We eat so many delicious food. We have tamales, a whole bunch of different galletas. We get to play loteria with, your tios and your tias, everybody yelling in the background. It's a really good time. Sometimes there's even fireworks. Like you never know what can happen on Noche Buena, and then you stay up all night past midnight, get to open your gifts. It's like a really beautiful childhood memory that I hold dearly to myself. And I just wanted to share that with other kids because I know that other kids also celebrate this holiday. And I think it's time for them to see themselves in books and know that their holiday is important.
That's fantastic. It definitely sounds like a book whose time has come.
Yes.
So let's talk about Mary a little bit more. She's a really strong leader in this story. She kind of leads the North Pole crew and works side by side with them. What led you to reimagine Mrs. Claus or Mary as a Latina in leadership in your book?
Every powerful woman that I know in my family, we're all Latinas. That's how I envision them. And Mary herself, adds power to Santa and the traditional Christmas story that we already know. She brings her Latin flair, her creativity.
So here's a little bit of a tricky question for you. How
Oh
do you
God.
think Mary's character challenges traditional gender roles in holiday storytelling?
Oh, well, Mary has no limits. So she challenges everything around her all the time. Whenever she runs into a problem, she never says no, always finds a solution. She has her team of elves. She has her animal friends that help her throughout the North Pole. Mary, I can't think of a situation that Mary cannot handle. After, a little snack and a nap, Mary is back at it. She always stays positive.
She sounds like a
Yeah,
great role model.
she definitely is. I cannot wait for everybody to get to know her. She's a very interesting character. She is not the traditional Mary that lives in your head that you think that just stays home and makes cookies and is just not doing anything at all. Yeah, she's a delight, and she brings me a lot of joy and happiness, and actually encourages me every day to be very strong and independent. So yeah, I'm very excited.
So your book features a variety of very diverse elves, and they make up most of the North Pole crew. So could you share with us the importance to you about including such diverse characters in your children's literature and the impact that you're hoping it will have on young readers?
Every Christmas story that I ever read, every Christmas movie that I've ever seen, we've always had the traditional white elves, and again, no representation for any other culture or for children to see themselves within those elves. We have a whole bunch of different beautiful faces, features, things that we can incorporate in all of these Christmas stories, and they just never have. So when I read, Merry Claus and the Holiday Dash, I feel very proud to see all of these diverse and different looking, different, shapes and sizes, not just a cookie cutter elf, because at the end of the day, that's not what we are. And it's it's not what we need to see, right? We need to see ourselves represented in these books. So I'm really excited for a young child to open this book and see themselves and see and say, "Hey, I'm also in a wheelchair," or "Hey, my skin is that color," or "Hey, I look like this," and "Wow, I could have helped Mary," or "Wow, I'm part of a story." So, it's just about inclusivity, and I'm really excited about that.
That's fantastic. I love what you said about the wow, I could have helped Mary. Like where they
Yeah.
see themselves literally a part of this story and a part of this team. That's just beautiful. It really is. That's great. So Mary really has a message of empowerment and equality. It's subtle in your book because this is a book for kids. So how did you approach conveying those themes in a way that's accessible and engaging for children?
Through the power of teamwork, I would say. Mary runs into a lot of different situations and challenges throughout the book, and she can always rely on her team. And Mary doesn't see them as, color or as having any type of disability or any type of different thing. She just sees them as her friends, even, family at this point. She's always with the elves. So, it's all about just seeing people as a human, and knowing that they can help you no matter what background that they come from. And I just want kids to know that at the end of the day, that it doesn't matter what you look like.
Well, I'm so excited to see Mary come to life. One of the other things I wanted to explore with you a little bit is this concept of having Nochebuena intertwined with a more traditional Christmas story that kids might be familiar with right now. So, can you talk a little bit about how Mary and the North Pole crew celebrate Nochebuena in this book? And why did you choose to incorporate this?
Yeah, so Nochebuena is just a holiday full of, family, friends, food, love, laughter, like I kind of mentioned before. And that's just how Mary prepares for it. Her and her team, they get together, they make delicious food and preparation, hours before in preparation of the big celebration. They get to play games together. They set up decorations, and just it's a whole hoorah. It's a very great, beautiful thing. But before they actually get to celebrate Noche Buena, that's when they run into a whole bunch of different issues, which I think is the beautiful part, right? You kind of go through a little a little bump in the road, but then at the end of you get to celebrate. So that's kind of what Noche Buena represents. I also believe, this Christmas story, Noche Buena and Christmas Story represents the entire year, because, Mary has this day full of a whole bunch of issues that she runs into. She needs help from her family and friends. At some point, she doesn't really know what to do. She has to, rest and kind of rejuvenate herself to actually figure out the problem. But at the end of everything, she gets to celebrate with the people she loves. She ends the day with laughter and joy. And that's kind of what we do at the end of the year when we get together for, Christmas and New Year. So I think this story is going to be really great.
That's fantastic. Good. Okay. What do you hope that young readers will take away from your story in terms of things like teamwork and acceptance and embracing individuality?
I just hope that at the end of the day, they don't only look for approval within other groups of people, but also, accept themselves for their own individuality and for who they are. You can go ahead and always find your group of people, your own group of elves, like Mary did. You'll always have your family and friends, but at the end of the day, accept yourself for who you are and love yourself for who you are. And you will thrive in all different ways.
That's wonderful. Mary is certainly a great team player and a great leader, but she's also very unique. So I can't wait to
Yeah.
see how people get a chance to experience her character as someone who is all about the teamwork, but also very much solid in who she is as an individual. I think that's probably one of my favorite things about her.
Oh yes, Mary is great and she's always true to herself, as you will see throughout the book. She is not scared to, embrace who she is. She's full of love and joy and a lot of other little sneak peeks that she keeps in her pocket and things like that that you'll get to see throughout the story.
Yeah, that's a really fun little detail. So if you could share one message with kids about the spirit of your book and the values that the story promotes, what would it be?
That is a very good question. I think it would definitely be keeping your traditions going and staying true to yourself and your culture, your family and friends. It's very easy for us, you know, Latinos, wherever you come from, to get lost in this big melting pot, especially when your family, migrates from a different country and they put you in schools here in the United States or wherever they place you, they don't teach you about your own culture. So I just want people to stay true to their culture and celebrate their traditions, not to be scared to be different, not to be scared to, say, "Hey, I don't necessarily only celebrate Christmas. I also have these other traditions," or whatever it might be. Just stay true to yourself, your culture, and don't lose yourself in other people's expectations of holiday celebrations or whatever it might be.
That's perfect. That is such a powerful message. Thank you for sharing that. So the North Pole is pretty iconic as a setting for a Christmas story. How did you approach turning the North Pole into something that was more multicultural?
Well, you don't have to be in a specific place to celebrate any culture or any celebration. So you can, your culture and your essence and everything, you have it inside of yourself. So you take it with you anywhere. You can celebrate it on top of a mountain, on the beach, anywhere, honestly, even in your room, in a fort that you built, anything. So, Mary just brings her flair, her culture, her love, along with the elves and their help, even the animals in the North Pole. Everybody has a part to play in it. So as long as you are willing to celebrate and listen and be part of somebody else's culture and accept it and have an open mind, you can have a nice Christmas celebration or Nochebuena celebration anywhere.
That's great. So you brought Nochebuena to the North Pole, as far as we know, possibly for the very first time. I certainly don't know of another Nochebuena North Pole story. Um, but tell me a little bit about Nochebuena for you when you were a child, because I suspect that that helped inspire a lot that's in this book.
Yes. So, my most dearest childhood memories to myself are definitely going to be going to Mexico as a child and celebrating Nochebuena with my family. That is the only time that I can remember all of my family getting together, all of my cousins, such a great time. We would go. My aunts in the morning would prepare tamales. They take a few hours to make, so you kind of have to prepare it hours before. They would prepare the food. The house would just smell so delicious, and you just knew you were going to eat so good that night. And then, your uncles are getting all the firewood together. You get to go and choose fireworks. And all of your cousins are just running around. You haven't seen them in months, and you just get to play and eat with them, and you get to run around outside. And then once it gets dark out, you get to eat, everybody comes over, or you get to go to other people's houses and everyone's just celebrating. Um, it's just full of love and joy. I just remember so much warmth as a child and I know I'm not the only one that experienced stuff like that and we need to hold on to memories and I couldn't share that with anyone. I didn't have any, books to relate to. I don't have any shows to relate to, anything that I could share with someone and be like, "Hey, this is what my family did." So, I kind of just wanted to bring all that love and joy and culture and beautiful memories and share it and put it in Merry and let other kids know that, they're not the only ones that celebrate it, and it's just a really good memory to hold on to.
Sounds really wonderful. As I've been enjoying the development of the story and the illustrations, which are incredible. They're so vibrant and detailed. It makes me want to come and join in and maybe be a little side participant. I've
Yeah.
never celebrated Noche Buena, but I think I very much would enjoy it. So
Yeah, this year you can totally come over and, you can get to see how we do it.
when I when I was speaking with the illustrator, she talked about dancing on Noche Buena, and we don't dance on Christmas in my culture at all. And I was like, that sounds like so much fun. I would like to dance on Christmas Eve. So
Oh, yeah, definitely. I personally don't dance, I'm a little shy, but yes, people go all in, I'm telling you. It's a really great time.
that's fantastic. Also, the food. Oh my goodness, that sounds
It's
so
making me
good.
hungry just talking about it right now.
It's about mealtime for both of us, I think.
Yes.
That's great. Why do you want people to know about Noche Buena?
I want them to know that Christmas isn't the only holiday out there. Like I kind of mentioned before, the United States is a big melting pot, and there's no way that we just celebrate one holiday with all the diversity that is here. So it's time that people know about Noche Buena. It's time that they know that, hey, Latinas, Latinos, we celebrate this. It's a very beautiful holiday from the food, the culture, the love. So it's time we share it with the world.
Stephanie, you are a Mexican American citizen. You grew up largely in America. How did celebrating Noche Buena enrich your childhood?
So, growing up in the United States, and getting to travel back to Mexico to celebrate Noche Buena every year with my family kept me connected to my culture and my family in Mexico. And that's just a beautiful memory as an adult, I'm going to keep forever. And I'm going to hold on to it and make sure it's Noche Buena celebrated and kept going on for other generations.
That's great. And I happen to know you have some little people in your life. How do you celebrate Noche Buena with them now?
Yes, I do. And I call them on Noche Buena and I make sure to tell them, Feliz Noche Buena. And then the next day, I actually tell them like Feliz Navidad, try to set that, boundary. And yeah, to my parents, it's also very important and to all my family at the moment. So I don't have to do too much pressuring, but yeah.
But you're able to be a part of carrying that tradition forward, even for the next generation coming after you, it sounds like.
Absolutely. I'm going to make sure that it gets passed down for sure.
So it sounds like that Noche Buena traditions are so rich with cultural and personal meaning. How did you weave some of those customs into your story, Merry Claus and the Holiday Dash?
Well, definitely the big emphasis on family and just being around people that you love and support you, and that's what Mary does when she's at the North Pole. We know with when it comes to even the animals that she hangs out with and her elf friends, she's always surrounded by love. And that's essentially what Noche Buena is about. And, the Latin culture is very strong on family and staying together. Mary Claus is also, she's very inclusive. She doesn't necessarily separate herself from her husband's culture either. So it's very important to intertwine the two cultures and, be inclusive and make sure that they're both represented.
Stephanie, thank you so much for sharing about your new book, Merry Claus and the Holiday Dash, a Noche Buena and Christmas Story. And thank you for sharing some of your culture and traditions that play such a key role in this book. I am really honored to be working with you and LNHS on this. I can't wait to see it come to life. So, any parting words that you would like people to know before we close out?
Yes, just keep an eye out for this book. We have been working really hard on it. I know you're going to love it. Share it with your family and friends and learn why it's important to work as a team and share your culture and just be full of love. And thank you, Colleen, for all of your help and everything that we've done. I'm so excited to share with the world.
That's wonderful. I can't wait either. I'm Colleen Brunetti with Bannon River Books, and please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow. It's followmary.com. Become one of Mary's friends to make sure that you get all of the sneak peeks, insights, and announcements when the book is ready in a very short time, coming this holiday season, 2024. Thank you.
Bye.
Mhm.